That's where it's coming from.
Yeah, let you say it.
Like hilarious.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLa Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
What's up? I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moye. Good morning, LaLa Land. We are making history here as America's first live streaming daily talk show, Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
Right? And we've got a great show in store for you on this Wealth Wednesday. We're going to debunk manifesting via the law of attraction. We're also going to dive into one man's consciousness and how he shifted in his mindset after being an X-Prize board member. We're going to dive into an inspirational story of a social influencer, and finally we're going to get some tips from the sleep coach on how to protect our eyes, our mitochondria from this technology so that we can claim our birthright of prosperity.
Got a full house today. Got a full house. I love having a full house.
All over it.
Love a full house. This is fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So good morning. We've got Derek, Emilio, and Victoria in the house. Thank you for being here today. So here at Good Morning LaLa Land, we'd like to know how you start your day. What's your morning routine?
Well, my morning routine starts swiftly with a strong cup of Irish breakfast tea.
Ooh.
Every day is different, and I think if you ask my wife, she'd probably say I'm smiling most of the time that I wake up. But I take my kids to school every day, so it usually includes a bunch of breakfast, cooking, running, rushing out the door, and driving to school kind of thing.
Okay, fair. I love the honesty.
I know, right?
Yeah, so many times people come on the show and they're like, I meditate for 45 minutes. And then it's like, no, I got my team, I got my kids. You've been sleeping, obviously, the whole night, sleep doctor right here. So what do you do when you wake up?
Well, morning routines are even more important than nighttime routines, I think, for sleeping. So my routine's very consistent. I wake up, I drink hot lemon water. It's very detoxifying. And then I go straight outside. I head to the park, take off my shoes, put my feet on the grass, get the earth's electricity, and I work out. I do some stretching first, but it leads to whatever exercise I'm feeling that day, just for about 45 minutes, and then I go on with my day.
Well, nice. I see Victoria getting on with her day because she lives right down the street from me. And she is such a boss queen. Seriously, she is like, got her tea, her puppy, and her phone always. And she is like working from the moment she wakes up. I see you. I see what you're doing.
Always grinding. She's always grinding.
Hustle and grind. Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm excited to have all of you on this show and get to know more about how you've built your brand and your business and your empire and what true wealth means to you later in the show.
I have to say, they all look extremely well rested.
I'm jealous.
Maybe it's by virtue of the sleep coach, but it's amazing. Whatever they're doing, it's working. Yeah.
Right? So excited to dive into all their lives and inspirational stories.
Are you wearing the sleep doctor glasses right now, Erin?
I am, and I have to say that, okay, so we got them the other day, and we took a picture. We sent it to Derek and got him on the show again. I'm so excited. He's been on Tammy Memi's, I can't talk this morning.
Tanya Meme.
I need some more. I need some more coffee this morning, apparently. And we want to have him back in. And so I've had these next to my bed. I've been wearing them when I'm actually realized I'm rarely on my computer or my phone in my bedroom, which is really nice. But I've been keeping them there because I feel like at night, especially, would probably be the most important time.
No, absolutely. Thank you, sleep doctor, for those glasses because they're next to my bed right now too. That's why they're not here on my face right now. My morning routine didn't go so successful today, and I left them right next to my bed.
So funny, as a kid, I always wanted glasses, and I wanted a very stylish looking pair, and I have to say I love these the most.
My favorite.
Yeah, I feel like I
I've
actually
ever
look
had,
good in them, in addition to them being helpful to my
I'm just going to wear them all the time just to be sexy.
Isn't it funny when you're a kid, you want glasses and braces because you want to be like part of the crowd, and then looking back, you're like, oh, that was such a bad choice.
Yeah, why was I asking for a problem that I needed fixed through a device?
Right? Because you wanted to be part of the crowd, Rob.
Right?
I know.
So did you get some sleep after the event last night?
Yeah, I got like 4 hours, but I will say I woke up feeling like fresh like a daisy. I don't know why. I think I just slept so solidly.
Right.
But
because Tim's story spoke to your soul.
He did. It was like he was like Tim's story, soup for the soul.
Yeah.
It was.
So last night we went to the Writers Guild in Beverly Hills, and we went to see Tim Story, who, if you have not checked him out, He's this fantastic, amazing, he's actually a minister, but he's very much more of a life coach. So he holds this event once a month over there for, just an incredible group of individuals. And his talk last night was on miracle mentality, right?
Yes,
Mindset.
the miracle mindset. And it
right?
was so incredible because the room was full of, very recognizable entrepreneurs and performers, creatives, and they were all there just feeding and thriving off his words. He really he says it's a tribe. He creates this community, this tribe, and he really believes in miracles. I buy it. I bought into it. I was like, I want to be part of the tribe. Sign me up, Tim's story. And it was really great because one of the entrepreneurs that he actually brought up on stage to interview was Jonathan Anton. You've seen him on Bravo's Sheer Genius, on Blow Up. He just opened a brand new salon, 3,000 square feet, beautiful in Beverly Hills. Let's take a look.
First time I saw you was when you doing the Bravo show. You were just bigger than life, and as you know, I'm close to the Sassoon family, and even Vidal was telling me about how you were just blowing up. Never forget that. We were on Cannon Drive, and Vidal brought you up. And what did that feel like to have so much happen to you so fast?
Well, I sold the company, that product line, so I don't.
It's a lot, but the numbers were crazy.
We were like record-breaking sales in the hair care industry for a startup beauty brand, indie startup beauty brand. We were doing like 40 million a year in sales.
40 million a year.
In the first year, second year, third year, it was pretty crazy. I held the record on QVC for selling one hair care product in 1 hour. My product, Dirt. We sold $2 million worth of dirt in 1 hour.
And I remember that. What I love what we talked about today is that life is seasonal, isn't it? It's seasonal. And you're in a new season in your life where it's like life has given all this stuff back to you. You got a new salon, you got new TV shows you're working on, a whole new QVC, HSN type of deal coming again. How awesome is life, right?
It's crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable. I feel like, they say like a cat has 9 lives. I feel like I got 29 lives. The fact that it's even coming back again, I don't even know how that's happening, but I definitely now, looking back, my attitude now compared to then, like they say, if I, knew then what I know now, I mean, it's you can't compare the two, the gratitude and the just the gratitude and the willingness now is a whole different ball game, than it used to be.
It's fantastic.
Wow,
right?
incredible. And you know what I love about it is that when you come into Hollywood, you think everyone's just materialistic, they're into hair, they're into clothes, they're into whatever. These people are deep, faith-based, extraordinary human beings.
Absolutely. I mean, I met Jonathan before I really knew what he did or anything like that, and then last night I sat next to him, and I had no idea all of the successes and accomplishments that he had. He was like the most love-focused, humble, compassionate, cool guy ever.
He's truly authentic.
He is. He's deeply authentic, and it's one of the things that blew me away about him is someone like himself who's accomplished so much and yet is so sort of authentic.
And giving gratitude to his family, for sure.
Absolutely,
for sure.
and that's one of the
Very
things I love about his new salon. He's really creating a culture and a lifestyle. Sans attitude. It's not about the big diva drama stylist. It's really just like cool, savvy, connected people.
Yeah.
Just like him.
Yeah.
And that's what was incredible about the entire event. It was not only Tim, who's just phenomenal as a speaker, as a storyteller, and also the interviews that he had, like with Jonathan, like with the Giving Tree. Folks.
Giving Keys.
Giving Keys,
Yes.
yes.
Giving Keys, yeah, it's a great one for sure.
But it's also the people that are attracted to that kind of event. I mean, it's just talk about love, focus, and community power. That's it right there.
So I have one confession before we wrap up, and I don't think we have a lot of time to talk about it, but it's something that I'd like to talk about in the future on one of these, is that tithing. I want to talk about tithing one day in a perspective of what the millennials are thinking, why churches are going down, and all this kind of stuff. And I just think that it's fascinating because, you know, if you research tithing means 1/10. And if you even look up in the Bible, whatever, and we're not a religious, conversation here, but really just thinking about why is it that it's so awkward sometimes when they do pass around, either whether it be a bowl or the envelopes or whatever it is. And I think it's an interesting conversation to debate one day.
It is because it comes right back to a question of what your money and abundance mindset is, which is a huge part of the show, right?
Right.
Sure,
And
Wednesdays.
perfect for hashtag Wealth Wednesday.
That's it.
That's right. So when we come back, you guys, we're actually going to debunk the law of attraction and manifesting money. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm Jez Moye, host of Good Morning La La Land, and we are making history here as America's first live streaming daily talk show. In case you missed us live, this was This Week in La La Land. On Monday, we had the CEO and creator of Karma Army Coins, as well as This Is Us actress Isabel Oliver Marcus. On Tuesday, it was all about transformation with professional life coach Alyssa Nobriga and Miss USA herself, Mia Sanchez. Wednesday, we had the Chakra Girl, my new spiritual BFF. And Thursday was Dancing with the Stars alum Karina Smirnoff, one of the most fit and fab women in Hollywood. Friday was all about Friday Feels with author Andrea Owen of How to Stop Feeling Like Shit, and the Great Escapes couple, Kevin and Kalayana. Over the weekend, my co-host and I were on the red carpet in Hollywood for Puerto Rican Relief. It's going to be a good week in La La Land.
Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Today I have a special guest with me,
Jez
Moye from Good Morning La La Land. Last week on the Focus TV network, we shot hashtag Harry and Kelly, Sex Talk with My Mom. Awkward. We also shot Millennial Life's Laura Odegaard. She interviewed Jess Carroll, who's also on your show.
Absolutely, with the big announcement that she's got a new show on the Focus TV network, The Rose Girls.
I'm so excited for that. Jess, who else did you interview on your show?
We had Darren Hollow, founder of Hollow Denim and the Perfect Skinny Jean.
Holla!
Also, Daniel Hall, now Scott Granger on CBS's Young and the Restless.
So young and restless. I'm your host, Victoria Simone. Jess, thanks for helping me out.
Anytime.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We are live in Los Angeles with Good Morning La La Land. On today's show, we are talking hashtag Wealth Wednesday, and we have three very successful entrepreneurs in the house. I would love to know what true wealth means to each of you.
I'll start since I have the mic. But, when I think of wealth, I think of feeling rich. And I remember the first time that I dedicated an entire week to serving as many people as I could and coaching them, and how rich I felt from that. So that will always be my definition of what it means to be wealthy, is to serve other people. And there's no comparison, and it feels like you have gold in your pocket when you serve somebody else. So that's how I measure it.
And I bet that true wealth helps you sleep better, doesn't it?
Well, if I'm really being honest, when I think of what I want, it's that I want my business to grow into this massive empire. I want to have, this beautiful house. I want to have this beautiful family, blah, blah, blah. But if I want to get to any of that, I always know that as a businesswoman, I have to be, in a meeting, I want to know everything to the nth degree, because then those more material things that I want, but I also have this core happiness because, education is priceless. Nobody
Spoken
can really
like
take
a
it away
true
from
boss
me.
queen.
Right.
Indeed.
What comes forward is I used to do a lot of silent retreats and a lot of meditation. And at one of those moments, there was this recognition. I was always striving for more of something, more acknowledgement, more possessions, more recognition of my peers. And it dawned on me that it was actually never going to be enough. And instead of being like a moment of, wow, finally relief, I can stop running, it was this, almost like this. And what flourished out of that was this awareness of how, a little bit of what you were saying, how it stopped being about me and it started becoming about how do I serve. I grew up very privileged, and I remember being on a mega yacht in the Caribbean and hearing my family members pointing to the other mega yacht that was just a little bit bigger and saying that's where we have to go. Asked me what being poor meant, and when she was about 9, and I really sat with it, and the most honest answer I could come up with was wanting what you don't have, and that's really stuck with me.
Drop the
Wow,
mic.
mic drop right there. Woo! That's powerful on Wealth Wednesday.
So today, you guys, Wealth Wednesday, we're going to debunk the law of attraction and manifesting money. So I did come up with one article on a very popular website called thelawofattraction.com. And we just want to give a shout out, first of all, thank you so much for all your work. And at the same time, we want to debunk it a little bit, because I think that the law of attraction and the secret is one of the most misunderstood areas of spirituality when it comes to desiring all this material. And I agree with this one. Be clear about what you need the money for, which I think that I actually don't agree with that now that I say it again, because I think that a lot of times we think that we know what we want and what we need, but actually all of life is really designed for us to awaken to the love and the abundance that we have. And so I think that we have to kind of question, what is it that we need?
I don't know, because I have this great vision board of the house I want, the places I want to go, the car I'm driving, and I'm going to need money to fund that. So I feel like I've been very clear about what I need my money for.
That's good. So what is that for? What does that stuff do for you?
It funds the lifestyle I want. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I
Tell
love
me
that.
I'm wrong.
No, I love
You're
that,
not wrong.
and I will also say that you can have all those things and get all those things, and it doesn't have to come through money, right? So I've been in plenty of circumstances in situations where I've received housing, or I've received a car, or I've received these things, and it had nothing to do with money. There was no point at which I exchanged money for those things. I may have exchanged the service, or may not have. I may have been gifted those things.
What are you trying to tell us? You have another
I'm saying I got a senorita on the side.
You know what's interesting though?
Sugar mom? No, I definitely do not.
If I do reflect back on my life, the biggest blessings certainly have not been financial. There's been no money involved in the biggest blessings of my life.
Right. But as far as manifesting money, I think that it is true that you need to decide and be very specific of how much that is. If you want that lifestyle or whatever that is, or even if it's developing a show or business or whatever, what is it that you really need? And I think people get very delusional and like, oh, I'm just going to sit and meditate and just think of whatever, and it's just going to come in. And sometimes miracles happen like that, but sometimes you need to get specific of what you're.
I can appreciate that. And for me, I think, so I've been more guilty of the former than the latter. I mean, I've generally just found my happy place, and things sometimes rain down. That's just been my experience. That doesn't mean I don't work really, really hard, but that's just been my experience. And that being said, I also know that getting specific can be very, very helpful. And I think it's just a question of what gets you most dialed in vibrationally.
But this actual article is about manifesting money. So let's keep it clear, right? We're not just talking about manifesting money, we're saying money. So if you want to manifest money, you better get clear of how much that money is.
I couldn't disagree more about that. I couldn't disagree more about that. I could not possibly disagree more.
I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and he was very specific. It said, how much money do you need? And this is so embarrassing. The first number that came to my head was $5 million.
Boom.
But he said, just go with the first number. And I was like, okay, $5 million. And looking at that now, it seems absolutely ridiculous. I know, but it was the first thing that came to my head.
Right.
And I break it down. I'm like, okay, how could I spend that money? Certainly on a house, certainly on the things I need, on the financial freedom that it would allow me, and thinking, what does financial freedom mean to me? The ability to not only have a life that I'm thriving, but the community around me is thriving. And I'm able to help fund that and contribute that. I want to give. I've been in such a place of receiving so many blessings. I want to give those blessings. That's how I would use that $5 million.
I love that, Jess. I love that.
So universal law, we teach that we want to inform with very specific, I can't talk today. Let's just get it straight. But we want to not outline. So we don't want to say how that arises. So I think that it's both. It's that dance between being very specific and having a mental picture of what that is, and allowing something greater to come in.
I can see that, and yet my entire life is
we're
not.
finally debating. We always agree on everything.
It doesn't.
It's so good.
My life just doesn't follow that. It's just not follow that at all. I mean, the way I feel is that I've always had what I've needed, and if I didn't have it, that means I didn't need it. And so at no point, there were specific times in my life where I was very clear about the dollar amount that I needed. I followed the law of attraction principles to a T. I didn't see results. I let go of all of that. I focused on the love. I focused on the happiness. I focused on the peace. And like manna rains down from heaven. Like that's been my experience. I didn't want a TV show, for instance, at all. I had let that completely go. And then out of nowhere, I get a call from E. That's just been my experience. And so I can appreciate this around money, and I think it's a very useful tactic for people that it works for. And I think it doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're just debunking it, right? That's
Yeah.
the whole point of it.
Well,
So,
step 3 is really interesting because it says get rid of limiting beliefs, and I think that's really,
yeah,
you know,
we
the
definitely all agree
mindset.
on that one, right?
Yes.
Yep. Let that stuff go.
And then number 4, I'm really good at this. Act as if you're wealthy. I am not wealthy, but I can fake it till you make it. Okay, I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I have a question for you guys. So, part of my experience and my belief is that abundance, joy, happiness, peace, they're all the same vibration, okay? And so I define wealth as accessing or allowing that vibration to sort of flow through me, okay? That's how I define wealth.
sure.
What is it for you guys, though? It sounds like it might be something a little different than that.
Well, I think wealth is very different than money. Wealth is your health, and it's your friends, and it's your relationship, and it's your connection to divine for sure. But money, we're specifically talking about money, so I feel like it's two different conversations, really. In that in specifically manifesting something very specific like money is a measurable, tangible thing. So it's two different conversations, and it's one and the same, but it's unique in of itself. Right? So you know what? We have 10 here. We're going to put it all in the notes. We've got the actual article for you, and you can debate. It's a great thing to debate. Take it with your girlfriends or your friends, whatever. Journal on it today, whatever that
Write
is.
us about it.
Yeah, write us. Feel free to send us a DM,
Right.
comment on us. We want to continue this conversation. That's part of what we are doing here at Good Morning LaLa Land, is creating community and conversation.
Right? So we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into a wealth mindset with these three inspirational guests we have today. Stay tuned, you guys.
Cannot wait.
This is Jack. His mother didn't save his childhood artwork.
She just threw it all away like it was garbage.
If only his mother had Archive.
Archive is the easiest and fastest way to chronologically store your child's art.
Snap a picture, tag it, and store it safely in our cloud.
Then share it with friends and family.
Even turn it into a calendar, mug, or your very own printed book.
Oh, you were going to make one yourself? Yeah, that's what his mom said.
Download the Archive app now and help us save art.
Archive, available now on the App Store.
We're live on Good Morning LaLa Land with the Creator Canada ribbon of Ginger. We're talking about motivation and perfection today, but you perfected a cocktail, right?
Yeah, this is I call this motivation in a bottle. It's like it's the embodiment of me. If you could actually ask that question, who would you be if you were a beverage? So just to run down the ingredients, the original version has fresh ginger, cayenne pepper, lemon, green tea, mint, and cane sugar. They found that ginger is just as effective as Motrin for anti-inflammation.
Right? I'm not gonna lie, like this is not, I'm not trying to fluff it up. It's really, really
refreshing.
I'm getting a little sparkle, like. Oh.
Because it's the answer to our healthcare problem. Listen to me. You go to urgent care, you go to emergency room, you are paying for all that equipment, all that infrastructure, you're wasting time. Wherever you are, it's $99 if you don't have insurance, though most insurances cover it. It's the most effective way to get the care you're looking for and the most cost efficient. $99 all in. And that Board certified individual, that licensed professional, is going to just be paying attention to you and focusing on you and using his or her judgment to take care of your needs in that moment. Go to Heal. Check it out. You'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Hi, this is Jennifer Eddy, and I'm here with Spa Girl Cocktails today. We're thrilled to be here with Empowerista and Girl Talk Network at UNITA and El Segundo to help support and empower women, the community, gluten-free, all natural, nothing added. You can find us at Bevmo and Total Wine in all of your communities. We're thrilled to be here with Focus Magazine today in their December issue.
Hello everyone, I'm Joyce Gerard, creator of the Joyce Miracle Elixir collection, and I'm happy to say that it's the only collection out there that is not going to have any harsh chemicals, free of parabens, free of sulfates, free of sodium chloride, absolutely cruelty-free, because for me that is super important, and it's made right here in USA, and it's the only line that is going to deliver you the best antioxidants, vitamins, fatty acids, minerals, straight from Mother Nature. I've infused my entire line with buriti, maracuya, moringa, and argan. So you have the buriti, which is the tree of life. You have the argan, which is literally liquid gold. You have the maracuya, which is the richest source of vitamin C. And you have the moringa, which is the richest superfood in the world. So I've combined all these yummy ingredients from Mother Nature and delivered them straight to you, straight to your strands, straight to your face. In all my products, that's the base of it. And the most important thing is that everything is made with love right here at home in USA, straight for you.
Live from Los Angeles, we are Good Morning LaLa, and I am so excited to have a master of finance and spirituality in the house today on #Wealth Wednesday, Emilio Diaz-Barros.
So nice to meet you. We loved having your wife on. So
yes,
wonderful.
last week, Alyssa Nobria, gorgeous woman, gorgeous soul. You were a very lucky man.
So lucky.
You're rich.
That's the definition of wealth.
Yeah, a beautiful
For
family.
Sure.
Yeah. So what fascinates me so much about you, Emilio, in addition to just your presence itself, is the ways in which you are able to understand and communicate the relationship between like money and living a life of abundance and spirituality. Because for me, and I think for lots of people, we often have it's a huge hang up. Like I always thought, well, Jesus, he just, she had all worldly possessions, and Buddha and all these folks. But can you talk to us a little bit about that? What's that been like you, that walk, that sort of walk between money on one hand and spirituality on the other?
Yeah, tricky.
Yeah.
And it's had so many different faces of it. There was the moment of monastery sort of pool where I was really renouncing everything and selling everything, and I wanted to go and disappear into a cave, and I kind of did, where there were periods of time where I was doing 8, 9 silent retreats, like week-long silent retreats per year, and just fully. And part of what transpired from there is that it was almost like a snuffing out of these worldly desires, and there was this nothing out that came from the inside, and there's nothing out that came from the concept of, oh, I shouldn't have this. Look at Jesus. Look at all these incredible people, and then something started happening where the word "honor your incarnation" came forward, or the phrase. I was like, I'm here. I'm not in Bhutan. What does it look like here? At the time, I used to drive a Ferrari, and it just contradicted so strongly with sort of this other concept of what it was to be spiritual, and what ended up happening is that I really allowed myself to embody what it was like to live this world of sort of the very top of that percentage chain, and how do I get to connect with people from here? Can I really live what I've realized internally?
So fascinating, right? I love that.
Absolutely. Your wife and us and all of us talked a little bit about a spiritual teacher named Osho. Why do you need 90 Rolls Royces? You're a spiritual guru. You're teaching love, and you're teaching simplicity and all these things. And he said, it's so much easier to meditate in a Rolls Royce. And that was part of his answer, but also part of it was, why can't I live a life of abundance? And why can't I share those cars with, they basically belong to my commune.
Yeah.
And I want people to live, he said, I don't believe in any kind of poverty, neither material nor spiritual. And, I feel that with you in some ways. What would you say you most deeply believe about manifest money and about spirituality, Emilio?
My experience with it is that when I outsource my okayness, and when I think that at some point it's going to be enough, when I really explored, it was like, okay, if I get to this number, that was your $5 million number.
Yes.
If I get here, then I'll rest. And it's almost like there was this efforting towards a bag of poop, and in the front was your price. And yet it was stuck to your head. And my experience of real wealth is the willingness to stop, let the bag of poop just smack you in the head, recognize that it doesn't kill you, catch the carrot, recognize that it doesn't give you ultimate fulfillment, and then it's like,
I'm very curious because you have a master's, become so spiritual. Did you choose to really pursue that? What was that crossroads for you?
Great question.
you know, there was, my life in the outside was so happy looking, and I kind of felt guilty having everything that I ever thought I wanted, and still having this sort of underlying hum of dissatisfaction. It's like something was missing.
What
And
made you feel guilty about that?
how can I be the least bit ungrateful or unhappy
With all I have?
with all I have?
Oh, it's so powerful.
So powerful.
I read an interview once about Eva Mendes, you know, and it's interesting, you know, the actress, and she's had such incredible success, and she had it pretty quickly, you know, not that she didn't work very hard at all, but she had it pretty young, and she essentially said, the therapist, and said, you know, I need some books, some major sessions here, like I really need to work this through, and the therapist sort of looked at her and said, you know, if you really want to resolve that guilt, you could just start giving away all your money. It's not that hard. And she said it was like one session, and it was like, boom, lights went off. And she was like, wow, you're absolutely right. I've been given all this to share with all these other people.
It's so interesting that people feel guilty rather than feeling like deserving. You know, we talk about being born with a birthright of abundance. So why do we feel guilty then when we're able to manifest that wealth for ourselves?
Fascinating question. Ethics of spirituality, very fascinating for sure. I do have a question though for you. For people out there who are in business, maybe they've you know come from wealth or they've grown wealth or whatever, and they're feeling that same feeling like, how do I overcome this? Where can they go? I know that you went to Santa Monica College, which is a very well-known spiritual college in California. Incredible people that come out of that. Not everybody.
So many great teachers out there, and so many amazing books and teachings. I think what I would have loved to hear was just have a deep earnestness with what I really want. Because if what you really want is the big car, the big house, the big money, just be real with it. For the longest time, I was judging myself for wanting those things because I had this very strong spiritual pull. I think one of the strongest spiritual catalysts is the ego. I wanted to be enlightened so that I would be special. I would never say like that, of course. It was like nice with myself. But what was this really about? Whether it was money or spirituality, because they're all the same thing. Money, spirituality, consciousness. And the nature of experience is that it's impermanent. That's it. So the search for more consciousness, more awakening, more wealth, it's all just this sort of mind's way of orienting towards there will be a future at some point that will be better.
Like spiritual materialism.
So true. So true.
Wow. So
I
powerful.
couldn't agree with you more. Like, yeah, I go into meditation sometimes, and I'm trying to get something. And I go, hello, this is the whole point. Don't let that go. We're not trying to manifest anything. We're trying to be. Like, that is the point of it. And I couldn't agree more. Is
that everything that you're seeking after sort of ends in frustration and exhaustion. Not that it's not something you can continue to find joy in moments, but that realization itself is a form of true wealth because you're coming from a place of sort of present moment abundance already? Or what would you say?
Yeah. I for a period of time, it was valuable for me to notice what I was running away from and what I was running towards, and to see if I had the willingness to experience the dread that I was trying to avoid here, now. It's like, what does that feel like? It's almost like there's this analogy of the dragon in your dreams, right? At some point you get really good at outrunning the dragon, then you may get really good at beating the dragon and trying to fight it off in your dreams and your nightmares, and then at some point it's like, just kill me. And the willingness to let the dragon kill me in my living and sleeping dreams, I think releases all the anxiety that comes and wants to run away or towards something.
And what are you running towards now?
Very, very, very little. But when I pick something up, like for example, kids not being disappointed in me, showing up as a really good dad, and I notice how their experience of me is so meaningful to me. And so when I notice it, and then sort of I immediately just drop into my body as opposed to going into the stores. Like, what does that feel like here now? And it's usually in my belly. And it's just like, but then when I fully allow it to be here, then it's just what's here.
Wow.
And then it stops becoming the I need to avoid them. Because like, what is
We're out of time, and it just feel like I'm just honored to have you and your wife on here because you're such evolved, beautiful. I mean, your 3 children are beyond blessed, and just want to thank you for all your work and just who you are in the presence of LA and of life and everything else. So looking forward to learning a lot more from you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
So appreciate it.
So wonderful.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Hey, La La Land, I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moye. Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles.
America's first live streaming daily talk show.
At 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And we have a sexy show for you today.
We have got Will, Leanne, and Gabe in the house. Let's go back there. Hi!
Talked to 4 beautiful, intelligent, conscious women. Clearly, I was miserable the entire time.
She has a TV show similar to your guys.
Ellen.
Yes!
Yes!
The little peck, come on.
I feel so bad for Jess.
We're live too for the people viewing.
For the people.
Wow!
MICKEYMOUSE Club Mickey Mouse.
We definitely were not prepared today, and it was
I'm okay on, but the other half,
We are streaming to you live Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Happy holidays.
It's gonna be a good
Good morning, La La Land.
5, 6, 7, 8. We are the Mouseketeers, and we probably wear our ears. We mousin', we mousin', MICKEYMOUSE Club Mickey Mouse. Good morning, La La Land.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I am so excited to have my friend, actress, and social media superstar girl, Victoria Fratz, in the house.
Victoria, I love that beautiful color. So poppin' today.
Thank you. I didn't want to, get faded out. I was like, I'm up early. I want to have it red.
But the shoes are divine. I mean, they're incredible. Who made those? They're so gorgeous.
Great story about these shoes. I actually camped out on Sunset Boulevard for the, how do you pronounce it? Balmain H&M, their like special release. I camped out. I vlogged the whole thing. Wow. I fought the crowds, and these shoes were just on the ground, like someone had forgotten them, and they were my size, and I was like, yoink, this is the best thing I got at the entire. It was worth the 24 hours in line.
Yeah.
Totally
Absolutely. You've created such a loyal following. You have been a must-watch live streamer. I mean, since the days of Vine. Let's talk about how you created your audience and your platform.
Sure, yeah, it's a really fun story. Basically, my background is in marketing. I had a marketing consulting company, and when I moved to Los Angeles, I was doing that, But I ended up moving in next door to two very popular viners, Jake and Logan Paul.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Wait, you moved in next door?
Next door, not at 1600 Vine. This was a different apartment complex. It was kind of like their first apartment.
How long ago was this?
This
Wow.
was about 3 years ago.
That's
This is
it?
like
What
the
about Law of
OG
Attraction?
days.
Just
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, and I didn't know really what a social media influencer was. I just assumed that they were already like famous from something else. But talk about laws of attraction,
Right.
like that just really dropped into my lap, because once they explained like the occupation of social media influencer, I remember specifically walking to my apartment door, opening the door, and being like, all right, selfie game starts now. I'm not gonna lose those checks. I saw like Taco Bell checks. I was like, hells yeah, I want that on my nightstand. Let's do this.
And you did it.
And I did.
Right.
You're like,
There's a
check,
lot
I'll
of
take
shameless
that.
selfies. There's
Yep.
no shame in a selfie, because it got me where I am today.
Nice, right?
Yes.
This is God also. Okay. Yeah.
Right there, you upgrade the hardware, you get the Lumi light for all the options, and yeah.
That's
here.
incredible.
And you really, though, you honed in on your demographic. You knew your audience. How did you figure that out for yourself?
Well, one thing that I really care about, marketing and demographics, no matter what you're selling, a brand, personality, product. All right, so I used to work at Red Bull as well, and what we used to talk about was entry point consumer. That is your audience member who's maybe like 13 to 17. They're just getting into the market where they have a little bit more disposable income and they can buy what you're selling, even if that's online. That's about the age where people get on social media, and if you get someone young, then you kind of hook them for life, especially during those formative years where they going to prom, going to homecoming. That's when they have these memories that they remember the most. So when you start following someone that really inspires you when you're younger, my rationale was, these kids want to follow me at a younger age, then maybe they'll stick with me through their college life and their young adult life, and who knows, hopefully a long time.
Wow.
So that was like my mentality, and it seems to be working for Viners too. So
Wow, fascinating.
So I've got a niece, she's 5, Zoe. I need to, if I want to get my social media game tight, I should probably start right now.
right there, that's
she's-
$1 million idea. Start even younger. Start when they're like just in the womb.
So how are you using it as a you're an influencer. So how are you using it? What are you doing with your influence?
Well, my influence helps me a lot now because I've quasi-pivoted towards filmmaking. I have a production company called Social House Films, and social media it's the solid truth that's proven eyeballs that are going to watch your product. So now when I go like seek funding from investors or we meet with studios, I can show them in our marketing plan, okay, well, don't worry, at the very least, we have a minimum 500,000 eyeballs who are going to watch this movie. So, like, please buy it, Netflix. FYI, Netflix. But no, that's how I'm using it. I'm using my built-in following, which also, by the way, helps me be legitimate when I DM other people with huge followings that I don't even personally know, saying, do you want to collab? Do you want to come on this thing with me? Do you want to come be in this movie? They're immediately like, okay, she's got this following, she's legit. And usually it opens doors for me to like make good connections.
It's so interesting that you mentioned that, because we've talked a lot about that and having social credibility and what that means in contributing to you as your brand and your business.
Yeah.
What was that for you? I mean, is that like a certain number or?
The number, not so much. It's a little mixture of everything. So if someone's out there wanting to know how can I build my social credibility, the very first thing I would say, quality content. And that can be as little as having a well-lit, in-focus photo. I see someone with like a fantastic photo and a whole string of them for their Instagram, for example, and I already believe, okay, they really care about their craft, they really care about what they're building. Now let me look at like the captions and like what's the message and blah, blah, blah. And then, numbers are there, but numbers are hard. I understand someone doesn't have a huge following, that's not really an issue to me. It's more, let me see like how committed you are to what you're building, like how in focus are you on
I love how committed you are, because you look at her Instagram and it says create every damn day. You are so committed to this and what you're doing. What drives you?
Thank you very much. And I'm so, this is a perfect question because last week, if I'm being really transparent, I like cried 3 times last week because I haven't actually created anything. Like I was like, and that's what was missing for me. Like actually making some sort of creation makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm actually working, at this age in my life. Okay, don't worry, you are making these creations and you're doing well. So last week I realized like the script is taking me a while to write. This web series, I need to get this off the ground, and it was all like mixing up in me. So create every damn day is my like motto to myself to continue my happiness. So then thankfully yesterday we got like booked for a music video, and I was like, oh, thank God, all right, that's great, we're at the treatment, let's go, we're going. And I was like, oh, thank God.
What kind of projects most inspire you?
I'm really, really into business women, like, but I am, like, I love women who value their education, and now I'm going to be a broken record talking about education, but that's where everything starts. It begins and ends with education. In your craft, in your field, whatever it is you're doing, even just in school, like, know your stuff. People will listen to you. When you're well spoken and you know what you're talking about, people will always listen to you. They'll stop, they won't interrupt you. And you can say your piece.
I love that, and the education doesn't have to be formalized. It can be, at home. I mean, that's often where I've learned the most is in my spare time, not in an actual official program somewhere.
Oh.
My dad used to always say, Robert, be careful. Never let your schooling get in the way of your education. Right?
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
just so powerful. I saw
So
that.
how would somebody, if they're saying, I love what she's doing, I want to be a social influencer, what would you recommend? How would they learn it?
I would say, okay, this is it. If you want to be a producer, or if you just want to be an influencer, you want people to follow your life, go on and say, all right, so I'm a girl, I'm, like late 20s, what? I live in California, 21, 19, what? Who am I? And I would recommend strongly going to other channels that are comparable to you. See what worked for them, see what didn't. You're doing a little bit of test marketing. What's pitfalls and successes? Then you take that information, like, okay, these types of selfies work, these types of event photos work, cool, let's do some of those, and start curating your life around that. So you go to those events, take those types of photos. You don't have to copy someone directly, but you use that as inspiration, and then inject your own personality into it, because people want to see you, that's why they're following you. So I definitely recommend doing a little bit of recon in the field, taking it really seriously, really take great solid photos, and then just lean into it. Don't be afraid to be yourself and really put yourself out there, because that's what stops a lot of people on social media.
Nice. And so where can people find you?
Find me everywhere at Victoria Frats, letters I, then M, Victoria Frats.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, we're out of time. I'm so sad because there's so much more. There's so much more. I want to do an hour conversation.
We're going to have to invite her back because
right?
she's got some very exciting projects
Definitely.
in the works right now. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning LaLa Land.
And keep meets because it's more than just training. It's just authentic. And so I think that's one thing I realized that I had my whole life was will. I'm so determined to get to where I want to go. I'm not going to let nothing stop me, not even myself. Right? And I try to tell my clients and people, it's all a mindset. You got to really want it. I said, you can change anything, but before you change anything, you got to change it in your mind first. Just because I always say if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
I'm Eden Sassoon, and I own 2 Pilates studios, Eden by Eden Sassoon Pilates. And to be quite honest, I hate socks. But my girlfriend Sally just created a line, Mantra Socks. And to me, at Pilates, you cannot get on my machine without socks. But now, you can get on my machine with the intention. Today, I have Be Love. To me, that means a lot. But also, when you buy a pair of these socks, 1 pair gets donated to a homeless shelter. And that is something, that's really what matters, to be quite honest. It's not just about the sock. It's about the intention. It's about what you're giving back and how you're paying it forward. And so for that, Sally, I thank you. And I love Mantra Socks.
Welcome back to Wealth Wednesday, and I'm so excited we're all here as one big Focus TV family right here, but we want to first talk with Derek Lacey, the sleep coach, LA sleep coach. Thank you so much for these fabulous glasses.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us a little
great.
bit about them?
Sure. So the glasses basically are designed to block out the alien sun that we all live in. I feel like in 100 years from now, people are going to be reading about this era, the way we talk about the potato famine or something. We live in such a toxic environment, right? So these are essential to where basically anytime you're in front of an alien sun, when I say an alien sun, we evolved under the sun that we know. And since then, man has made this unnatural light, and this unnatural light kills our melatonin, it kills our dopamine. But melatonin, that's the thing that we need to sleep. So this is why these are important, because it's going to protect our eyes, which melatonin is made in the eyes, later released in the pineal gland. Yes, and so we need to protect the integrity of our light, and these are important to wear, especially before bed, those last couple of hours. But I'm all about wearing them whenever I can. I want to be
Does it
example
help
for
the mitochondria also? Is that something to do with it?
It does. It keeps them from being dehydrated.
Oh.
Yeah. So all the blue light. Yes.
I don't even know what a mitochondria is. Let's be honest. What is mitochondria?
It's part of the cell. Every cell has two. There's basically the part of the cell with the genes, and then the mitochondria. It's the powerhouse. It's what creates our energy, and we can't create energy without water that's made when the sun hits our body.
And
our
we
skin.
can't do business without sleep, right?
You can't do
we're
business
talking
without-
hashtag Wealth Wednesday with some very successful entrepreneurs. Sleep is crucial.
Absolutely. And when you're not sleeping, you're not connected to that gift, that unique gift that you have. And so you're basically removed from your intuition. And that's the one thing I love seeing clients experience, is they get that full sense of purpose once they start sleeping, and they're reminded why they were put onto this earth. And when somebody is in their genius, then it's like what we were talking about with wealth. You start serving in your own unique way, and that's where the richness comes.
Wow, it's so powerful. I once heard meditation described as sleeping awake, and it allows you to do essentially the same thing. It has the same benefits, where you're able to access your intuition, you access this reserve of energy that you have, clarity, and so that's profound to me. So for you, what led you to this place where you've been so focused on sleep, helping other people sleep better?
I was basically an insomniac all my life. I never identified with the word insomnia until about 15 years ago, when I moved to Los Angeles from Texas. But as a kid, as young as I could remember, 3 years old in preschool, when we would have to take naps, I went to a Catholic school, and they'd force us to take a nap at lunch, and I was the only kid that was awake, right? And the nuns would come by and go to sleep. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm an insomniac? I don't know, but I always struggled with sleep, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and I look back now, and the second largest city in our nation, and when you compare it to even other cities that are larger in the world, maybe we're the most blue light toxic city, right? The entertainment capital. I mean, there's so much going on here, but this is something I didn't realize at the time, but I moved from a very tame blue light city to a very active one. And, I didn't realize it, but I started my sleep. I started experiencing sleepless nights over and over again, and my life just completely turned around. And so there was a lot of physical, environmental factors that led to my insomnia, but at the time I didn't realize it, so it turned into a real emotional problem. That's what insomnia is. It's a belief problem. So that road, and then the recovery part of it, I became a coach. I didn't get into coaching to help people with sleep. I just got into coaching to help people live healthier lives. In the process, I reversed my insomnia, and I thought, oh hell, I can do something here. Right? And I started looking at everything I did in life through the scope of insomnia. Like, how does this, how do I eat this taco in a way that will help people? What can I learn from this? Right? That's what it is. So that's how I see the world.
I love that. So great. Okay, so we have a little thing we do that we want to give you guys a little gift. It's called Karma Coins. And these are basically pay it forward. So they're little coins that you can do whatever it is, whether you buy someone a tea or, get them a new set of
Sleep glasses.
Yes, or whatever it is. And instead of, having them say thank you, whatever, you can give it to them, say pay it forward. So basically, they actually have a website you can put in. There's a little code on the back. You can put in your code. You can tell the story of what you've done or what was done to you. And basically, it's a butterfly effect. So we can take a look at out there in the world. And we want to know your stories and how, the butterfly effect of what's happening in your world.
And the code is something that can be tracked, so you can see how far your kindness actually goes. And that's something that we love, so we want to share that with the people who are part of our community and see, how far our reach can get across the world.
Right,
so
right.
It's pretty exciting.
So-
Any big ideas?
Well,
What are you
yeah,
gonna do with
we
your
wanna
karma
know.
coin?
Right.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Right?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Look out, world, I'm coming.
Yeah. With karma.
I feel like today was such a great day, and I feel like there's such a wealth of wisdom here, and I feel like I haven't gotten enough. Like, we want to talk more with you guys, each of you guys. It feels like it was cut short with all three of you, and so I just want to say thank you so much for taking your time and all that you guys do, and that you guys truly feel like you live a prosperous and abundant life, every single one of you guys. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you
Yeah.
having us here.
Absolutely. We are Good Morning La La Land, and Making History is America's first live streaming daily talk show Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
So where can they find you for your classes and coaching?
DerekLacey.com or DerekLaceyCoaching.com or thesleepcoachla.com. But you can find me there, and I'm Instagram at the Sleep Coach LA, Facebook at the Sleep Coach
Nice.
LA.
And so what do people do like when they're going to come? Like, we're like, okay, I want to come work with you. I got sleeping problems. What does that look like?
Yeah, the first time I speak with somebody, I want to let them know that it's okay that they haven't slept. People going through insomnia feel like they've lost control of their life. So I help them establish that control. And sometimes it takes a couple of conversations before we can even start talking about their sleep. So I'm fighting for people to regain that control of their life. So when I begin a relationship with somebody, it's different. It just depends on that person. Yeah. So, but I love coaching people one-on-one. I just came out with a sleep course that people can take as well. That's on my website.
Oh, cool.
And so everybody has their own unique rite of passage to sleeping. Sometimes it's through coaching. Sometimes it's through one conversation. I've had one conversation with people, and it changes everything.
Well, thanks to the sleep doctor, we're going to have a good night. But for now, it's going to be a good morning, La La Land.